Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Marian White, and with me is my co-host for so many years. It's such a pleasure, Mr. Ken Bialo, former mayor, former trustee of the village of Larchmont.
So many years.
We are very blessed that way, aren't we?
Oh, so many. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, no. I think being here now means we're blessed. We'll see about next month, right?
Yeah, next month. 1 month at a time, 1 day at a time.
I hope all is well with you.
And you?
Yes, I have a new little
Congratulations.
18-day-old person living with us for a while.
Let's just think about this. About this big?
She's as big as a little turkey, or a little, actually a little chicken.
Oh, a little bigger.
Well, she's all scrunched,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So she's just this little cute ball that squeaks a lot, but it's fun. So March 22nd is coming up.
Yes.
And that's a very special date
Yes.
that we've talked about the last show.
Yes.
Because everyone should go to the Mamaroneck St. Patrick's Day Parade at 1:30 on Mamaroneck Avenue.
Kickoff is 1:30 at Mamaroneck Avenue School.
And see the lovely Grand Marshal, Kate Bialo.
Yes. And all of her aides and assistants.
Then yes, that was so much fun seeing at the St. Patrick's Day dinner how you guys all got scarves or sashes.
Oh, we got sashes. Come on, it says
saying
aid. Aid.
That may be as good as her life gets with all those aides.
Maybe.
Never again.
Well, I mean, we are so far continuing to work on the assumption that there will be a parade and there will be a kickoff at 1:30. But as you know, the schools are closing and the National Guard is afoot.
And we are going to be contained.
And the governor, even worse than the National Guard, we have the creep is undoubtedly riding around in one of his cars looking for somebody's tire to fix on the road. Remember, you see that photograph?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Give me a break. What a bozo.
Well, that had to be staged.
Of course it was staged. Total bozo, really. Anyway, bozo might be roaming around. And but we'll see. We don't know whether the parade committee or the Village of Mamaroneck will continue the program and look at things on a day-by-day basis, and maybe come March 22nd it'll be clear and the parade will actually kick off. One of the things that I learned yesterday that I did not know, and I don't think it's well publicized, is that these little bugs don't do well in the sun. They die pretty. I'm told. I've not tested this. I'm told they die pretty instantaneously when they're hit by UV light, which sunlight is partly UV light, it's partly all kinds of light. Infrared, it's UV, goes the whole spectrum. So
why don't they put UV lights in all the street lights?
Well, they probably don't have enough UV lights, but they, I suppose you could put it in certain critical places if you chose to.
Like Times Square. That might be a good place.
So anyway, but if it's a sunny day, then one would think that would
well, and being
be better,
outdoors isn't like being in school.
I agree. But then afterwards, people might go into bars or might go into the pizzerias or something on the Mamaroneck Avenue.
I suppose you can't be outside with a beer that's open, whatever.
Yeah, it's open carry, and so you might be attracting traffic and encouraging people to go to places.
A containment zone for open carry. I mean, if you think about it, at the street fairs of the city, people are certainly carrying around alcohol on the street.
Alcohol? They're carrying around cocaine. They're smoking marijuana like it's going out of style. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, so if you can do one kind of containment zone, you should be able to do another kind of containment zone. It's just for everyone's health.
That's all. Just everybody's health. Anyway.
Well, it's going to be a wonderful parade. And do you know why else it's going to be wonderful?
Why else?
Because, where is this?
LMC-TV.
The LMC-TV van will debut this March at the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
All right.
And you know what else? LMC TV is changing its name to LMC Media because they do so much more than TV. In fact, they have podcasting studios, which, you know, everyone's doing podcasting. It would be probably better equipment than people would have, you know, in their own home.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. So, oh, and I love this part. They even have a green room for guests. I guess it's for guests.
Or for frogs.
But Matt Sullivan was talking to the Larchmont Mamaroneck Local Summit, and that LMC-TV will continue to cover local events and provide residents with opportunities. But there's been a reduction in funds from the cable franchise fees. So they're going to have some private fundraising. Now you got the highest level of cable franchising fees ever for LMC-TV, didn't you?
We got, the contract that passed and we developed in 1993, 4 and 5, provided for, at that time, TCI to just give us, I think it was, I can't remember, $400,000 or $450,000 in equipment.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't remember the details. I don't remember whether we ordered it from outside and they paid for it, or we bought it from their catalog. I don't remember how that worked. But that was a lot of equipment because we were down to the skinny before that agreement got signed. And then the franchise fee that was part of the contract was at that time the highest that was allowable in New York, which I believe was 5%. But I don't think that was unusual. I think most everybody got 5%, but not a lot of people got $450,000 worth of equipment.
That was the real
the equipment was the real kickstart.
Good job.
Yeah, it was a good job, actually. I won the Marian Sullivan LMC-TV award for that.
I hope you've kept that. It's probably the last award you got from them.
It's definitely the last award that I got that involved any Democrat.
Well, we love you, LMC-TV.
We do, and we support you.
I was so pleased to get in at my 2 emails. I guess Furniture Share House has both of them. And there is a new website.
Yes.
And I'd never gotten this newsletter before. Is that new also?
Yes.
Okay.
The website makes this possible. This website has been in development for, I could be wrong on this, but I think it's over 2 years. And it took an enormous amount of effort. And the one person who was at that time chairman of the board is now resigned, gone on to bigger and better things, flying airplanes, in fact. Carol Hahn really was key in putting that together and really did an outstanding job.
Oh.
And we are having a party on Friday night to celebrate her achievement.
And she's flying airplanes now?
Her husband flies an airplane. They have a place in Colorado. Her husband flies an airplane, and he said, "You're going to learn how to fly an airplane too, because if something happens to me while we're up there, no way to get down."
That gets your attention, doesn't it?
That gets your attention.
Well, it's always nice to have a new venture. Well, this is just what I like about it is it's so easy to read. So here, new website launches. Okay, great. Big Hotel makes a big impact. And that's 2 truckloads of donated mattresses and box springs from Spring Hill Suites Tarrytown, a Marriott hotel. So that's great.
Complete with pictures. You notice how the pictures get right alongside. Yeah.
Then paying it forward, some clients have accepted donations when they needed them, but then have given them back.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Someone named Mindy did that, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And then I know this is at least the second time the community table build. Is that
this would be the
happening?
third one. No, well, they just got canceled today. I think it got canceled by the school district because it was in the Hummocks workroom. Hummocks has a great, beautiful wood shop with lots of tools.
Oh, I see.
So that's a place where you can do 10 or 12 of these things at one time.
Well, maybe that'll be rescheduled.
That could be.
I'm not, oh, it does have a date, yeah. What I found interesting is we welcome volunteer groups in the warehouse.
Yes.
So the one could bring a group.
Yes.
Do you have to know how to do anything?
Nope. You have to be willing to put it. I think it's generally Saturday mornings. It's generally
Our
starts
third Saturday of service days.
Right.
And students from PACE.
All kinds of people have done
yeah.
it. The Harvard Alumni Association. I mean, there's all kinds of people who have done it. Seriously, J.P. Morgan people, Bank of New York people. They just come in groups of 8 or 10 on Saturday morning.
Just speaking of J.P. Morgan, did
Yes.
you hear that Biden sort of made known a list of people, or people around him made known a list of people that would be on his board, his cabinet? And Jamie Dimon,
Secretary Treasurer.
along with John Kerry, Susan Rice.
John Kerry. Oh my God. Isn't Kerry dead by now? I mean, is he still alive?
Well, he's certainly older than we are.
Yeah, way more feeble.
Well, anyway, that was interesting. So I didn't know about this volunteer thing. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, and then it has future dates,
Yep.
which is also helpful.
That's a cool looking website.
So congratulations yet again to Furniture Share House.
It's a cool looking website.
Then the last thing, I just got this. It's about the census. It says starting in March, 95% of households will receive an invitation in the mail, with about 5% having it dropped off in person. And I had first understood that they were sending me an email, and I don't like any government agency sending me emails. So I was not happy about that. But it says the mail will then give me the option to respond online by mail or by phone. So I guess I'll do that.
So, are you going to go to your neighbor's house and use that phone?
We still have a landline, actually. Oh, I see. That'd be good. No,
Right?
Yeah.
They'll never be able to trace you. They have no idea who you are.
You know, as I told you before, they know everything about me, so who am I
Now,
kidding?
listen, in China, that is actually true. It is not true here. I don't know who knows what about what, but in China, it is actually true because virtually all of their emails and financial transactions go through, I'm not going to name what it is, go through one app, a particular app that is universally used over there. And you remember Kelsey was there last summer
right,
for spent 8 weeks,
So
9
now
weeks
they
in
know
school.
everything about Kelsey?
That chip, her chip, came out, and and the old chip went in after she came back. This is that they know where you've been, they know where you are. It's pretty astounding when you think about it. Now, some people who are totalitarian in outlook might think that's a really great thing. Others who like a little more freedom than that might not think that's such a good thing. So,
Well, my phone with Waze and stuff like that certainly
yeah, there's enough
knows
information around. Yeah,
wherever I am when I'm using it. And I guess when I'm not using it,
I don't know.
you know.
In Apple, you can turn off the when you're not using it function. When you go to you can go to settings and
Okay.
turn off all the systems, all the functions, including the locator function, when you're not using.
Do you know how long that would take?
It took me a half an hour to find out where my settings button was, and then 30 seconds to do this.
Oh, okay. Well, I know where my settings button is.
All right,
Okay.
let's say you could do this.
I can do this.
You can do
Okay,
it.
thank you.
You can do this.
Well, I may call you.
You would be the first person to ever call me
For a tech.
advice on a tech point.
Good point. Maybe I'll do it just so you feel good. So I did notice that San Francisco is preparing to put to public vote a law that would put a new tax on property owners or leaseholders whose storefronts stay vacant for 6 months or more. And how that came to my attention was someone wrote into the Loop and was suggesting that maybe we should do something like that. And I know you as mayor.
We talked about it. We talked about it back in the late 90s and the early 00s. It wasn't a tax. in California, things are so strange, and really, and the way they conduct themselves. So people can go to the bathroom in the street, but they can't leave a vacant window. I mean, I want you to think about that.
Well,
Just
you're right. It
think
doesn't make a
about
lot of
the level of civilization that remains, such as it is, in places in California where you can walk in and steal things from a store and police won't arrest you because petty theft is no longer a crime. It's not a crime that the cops will arrest you for. It's too bizarre to talk about.
Right.
Right? But we did have a conversation, I think we had more than one, about storefronts that were left vacant and with glass windows, and you could see into the mess that had been left by the last tenant. And we all thought that was it was unfortunate, and something could be done about it, but it would have to be enforced, and it would have to be enforced on an even-handed kind of basis. And we could never figure out what it was that we thought, other than brown paper covering the windows. We could never figure out what we thought belonged there, whether we should have kid art from Chatsworth School kindergarten, or we should
the Halloween art.
Yeah,
That's
well, I mean,
always
yeah,
fun.
that's exactly right. So we never got ourselves really quite organized for it. But I do understand that there is something afoot in the Larchmont Village Board that is similar to that, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
And
Well-
and who knows when they'll come public with it. They could work on it for 10 years and not come public with it.
It did seem that on Larchmont Avenue, where some old stores have left, at least the stores come from around the block or something. Something's going on, putting life into storefronts that have been there, not for long, but it just seems hopeful.
Well,
So that's good.
it'd be interesting to see what somebody could develop if they actually thought about it, and how you would enforce it, given the staff that we have. I guess you'd ask the village administrator to go around and actually do something.
Well, I might want a higher up to do something like that. But you did say something was actually being done.
What?
And we finally have something actually being done in our community. And I am just so excited.
In respect of?
Well, as you may recall, we've been talking about a 9-story residential building to be built on the Post Road, which is huge,
Yeah, 100 units.
and that would add lots of additional young people, probably, to the school system, which
Yep.
is already bulging. And you actually attended the big meeting on March 4th.
Did, yep.
So why don't you tell us about it?
Well, I'm going to tell you, the short answer is that the Mamaroneck Town Board decided that it would not entertain the proposed zoning map change that the developer wanted. That is the long and the short of it.
Because he needed a variance.
He needed a map change.
Oh,
He
okay.
needed a map change. The position that was taken by the board, and it was taken by individual board members and who were interesting in the comments that they made, was different people had different comments that, well, this could bring a lot of kids to school and introduce another 150 cars to the Post Road, and safety issues, the Little League field is right nearby, and so on and so on. And a critical environmental area abuts the land from the back.
Right.
An area that I might add, in 1992, you and I went down and cleaned and then took campaign photographs so we could put it into our
was a beautiful day.
93 literature bags and bags of stuff that we pulled out of the water. Not the least of the problems is that the being right next to what is a designated critical environmental area. But as the board set themselves up, and I don't know that this was predetermined or it just happened on its own, but it seemed like people were sort of coalescing around the idea that the town is about to go through a revision of the comprehensive town zoning plan, and they weren't about to do something as potentially dramatic as this on the eve of starting the process of planning, that this was something that the proposed developer could wait the 11 or 12 months or however long it's going to, 2
Right.
years. I don't know how long it's going to take. They stormed out.
The developer
A
did?
vote was, the supervisor took a vote. Vote was 5-0. That the board vote to reject the proposed zoning map change. The developer and 4 or 5
Mr. BLD.
developer people kind of stormed out. And after that, the supervisor said, well, you all are here. And somebody said, well, we're here and we're prepared to talk to you. And she said, well, let's do it. And sort of limited everybody to 3 minutes, although some were a little longer than others. And people had all kinds of concerns, from safety concerns, environmental concerns, to traffic concerns. I mean, really, it was quite an array. I want to say, and I didn't count, there were 20 speakers. And in the audience, I want to say there were 50, it was standing room, there maybe, I don't know, 50, 100, 50, 70, 75, 100 people. And one of the first things that happened was that Better Larchmont, that organization that was
wonderful
fussing with the
organization.
Larchmont Village Board about Centro, presented a petition with 500 names on it, opposing the zoning map change. And so what happened was this, and I have to congratulate the supervisor, Nancy Seligson. She did a great job of keeping things moving and listening, and everybody, I don't know if people were taking too many notes, but there were a lot of written submissions that went in, and it was really well done. And the supervisor said, well, I guess all of you want to participate in the preparation of in the input to the comprehensive plan. I think that was more of a dare than anything else, but it played well.
Someone will.
It played well. It played well, and she did a very good job. At the same time, just a week before, the Larchmont Village Board kind of took the opposite view, and while the Centro project, to which there is a petition with 500 names objecting, was shrunk from 26 units to 14 units, and the parking garage building behind it is gone. So we have a much smaller project. It
still needs a zoning variance,
It still needs, well, it needed a zoning change, and the Larchmont Village Board separated the zoning change from the project, and that's questionable under environmental law, even though the village lawyer said, oh, there's no question about this. There's a lot of question about it. And it's called segmentation, and it was a little weird. But the village board in Larchmont, which has no plan.
And doesn't even plan to have a
And
plan.
doesn't even plan to have a plan. And Better Larchmont was saying, look, it's like a 4-block area. It's 3 blocks this way and 2 blocks this way. You can have a plan done in 6 months. Instead of taking what the developer is offering, you create your own plan, and then you let developers fit your plan.
Because other developers will follow.
Well, they'll follow and they'll do willy-nilly things. I mean, that's what this is, a willy-nilly project.
I mean, this isn't a once-in-a-lifetime chance to get that space developed.
I would say it is not a once-in-a-lifetime chance. And even if it was, I would say, you decide what you want, and then you tell the developer.
Right.
You don't sit there and have the developer dictate, well, I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want the other thing, and this design is fine. Oh, gee whiz, I have to make another change. Wow, I can't afford. That's just a bunch of baloney. All developers say exactly the same thing.
Right.
And the developer for the BLD diner was saying exactly, this is a chance. You know, we're going to have a 10-story building and have 100 units, and we're going to have access to the Premium River Marsh complex. And it's like, who are you talking to?
It's very different when you live here.
Yeah.
They just really don't get it.
Well, they don't get it.
But the Larchmont board did not seem to get it.
No, it didn't. It didn't. So they went ahead and they approved the law separate of the project, and then now the project's going to have to go through all these things, and then they're going to roll over the planning board, which has got about this much spine. And so it's,
Oh, you mean so it doesn't have to go to the zoning board because it will be in compliance?
well, with the new zoning code, which the village board
Yeah.
just passed, yeah.
So then it won't need to go to
Won't
them.
need a zone,
And
won't need a zoning.
planning.
So planning is, sorry, planners, it's not the staunchest body, not the stoutest body.
Right.
You forgive my pun there.
Right.
It's not the stoutest body. And so the process is just going to continue, and then who knows where we're going to be. This is, the whole point that Bialo Larchmont was making is, the shopping area on the Palmer Avenue side is 2 blocks this way and about 3 blocks this way. And that's kind of the whole thing. And if you haven't got the courage to sit down and decide what you want to do in a 5 square, I don't know what that is, 12, 10, 6 square block area.
Especially when traffic does not move on Palmer Avenue right there. It's terrible.
So, to us, it was like, this was a no-brainer. So the town board decided plan before project.
Yes.
The village board decided project before even thinking of a plan, much less setting out to get a plan. And it's kind of a contrast. And here they are.
Yeah.
One is in yellow paper and the other is in white paper. It's kind of a contrast.
Well, it's really nice to have the town, the members of the council.
Paying attention.
Yeah. Well, it gives us stuff to talk about. I guess there's always that.
Yeah. Well,
So
just different
happy
approach.
St. Patrick's Day.
And hopefully there'll be a nice parade. Will we see you at the parade?
I don't know. I may be babysitting. You never know. There's always that opportunity.
Okay, well, bring the baby to the parade. Could be a sunny 70-degree day.
No, the mother would not agree given circumstances.
Oh, well, okay. Fair
But
enough. All right.
anyway,
Fair enough.
thank you so much. Thank you to the talent that's on the other side of the cameras.
Stay away from the National Guard. They're all